Hello and welcome back to Houseofastralis. My name is Kayla, and today I will be your cosmic guide as we read for your Sagittarius full moon if my little kitty will let me. As always, this is a collective reading, so take what resonates and leave the rest behind. All of my links are in the description down below, and with that, this full moon in Sagittarius arrives on May 31st, and this one wants you to think bigger. Sagittarius is fire energy, it's expansive, truth-seeking, and freedom-loving, and full moons illuminate what's already there. So this illumination is shining light on where you've been playing small, staying too comfortable, or avoiding the bigger questions in your life. This full moon sits on the Gemini-Sagittarius axis, and here it can be some interesting tension. Gemini is ruled by Mercury and collects information. Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter and synthesizes it into wisdom. So the question this full moon is really asking is, what have you been gathering, learning, and processing? And what does it all actually mean for the direction you want to go? Sagittarius doesn't do small thinking. This is the sign of philosophy, expansion, and personal truth. Again, ruled by Jupiter. It pushes us to stop living within the constraints we've accepted without questioning them and to ask what we actually believe, what we actually want, and what kind of life would make us feel genuinely free. This full moon is also a moment of culmination. Things you've already been working toward, intentions you set earlier in the year, some of that may be reaching a point of visibility now. So you can ask yourself, what has grown? What can you acknowledge and celebrate before you set your sights on what is next? The question Sagittarius asked you is, where have you been too cautious with your life? And what would it look like to actually trust the bigger picture? It's kind of like the full card in tarot, if you're familiar with that. I have a Sag moon in my natal chart myself, and definitely resonate with the needing freedom and expansion and loving, philosophy and things like that, which is really interesting, and I can see how it's already playing a picture for me right now at this time. So for you, you would just see where Sagittarius is in your chart and see what the themes of that house are. And with that, let's jump straight into the cards, because the truth that is being illuminated right now is the Knight of Cups. So this can definitely be, it says fertility tonic here. So if you're thinking about romance or just creating something, whether that's an actual thing or another being, I think this is just illuminating what you've already been thinking about, what's been in the back of your mind. Are you wanting to create something? Sagittarius is the fire, so it's really being able to be creative and just do something for fun without letting things hinder you. So I'm kind of thinking about it like the inner child. I know Leo is the inner child as well, but this is like that energy of just being able to do it just to do it and not have to worry about what others may think, because the knight isn't the king. It's someone who goes out there and isn't worried about being the best version or the most mastered version of themselves. So what direction would you like to move in? Oh, I did forget to read the oracle card here, number 30, Cosmic Net of Reflection. We are a reflection of one another. When we illuminate, we bounce light from our soul to another. So it's like that unity principle. We are one. We are all. Next up, we've got the Devil, and this is funny because this is where you've been living too small. I think this is in a sense of like holding yourself back because you don't feel, I'm going to say like educated enough or not in a higher role. You're still a novice, still not advanced. And I think that's where you're holding yourself back here. You're keeping yourself chained to things that are not good for you, and that's an easy thing to say, but I'm getting that it's like your self-sabotage or things that you let hinder you and prevent you from your truth, the truth that's being illuminated here. So it's always the mundane things too in our life. We can't create art because we have to work 40 hours a week, or we're too busy, too busy doing other things. And I think that's the point here. With the Devil showing up, you are playing too small in these constraints and giving up your own sovereignty in a way because you're letting the chains dictate you and keep you small. I've said probably a few times now that we all have chains for something, but it's up to us to fix that chain or choose a new chain and not let it be such a hindrance. Because with chains, they may be boundaries, but with a freedom-loving sign like Sagittarius, if there's nothing but freedom, then that can pose an issue as well. So think of the chains being there to allow some sort of boundary so that you don't get too far off course. But the issue with some chains is that we let it be the only thing. We let it dictate us and we let it stay the same forever. We can grow with our chains. So what is reaching culmination at this point? We've got the sun, and I see this as like a drive, a drive to really change ourselves. So maybe this is why, like, the devil's come up to show you where you've been living small, and you've had these inklings about yourself, like your ego, in the sense of things you can do to change who you are. And that's not to say that because you're bad, it's because you don't want your hindrances to stop you. You want to grow from those hindrances. So this is the idea that's been plotted here. I would say that the sun is also a fertility tonic, if you'd like to call it that, because the sun is how plants grow. And we need sun too. We need that warmth. So definitely lots of growth here. Inner growth, most certainly. And within this collective here, there seems to be a lot of ego work, because the sun here with the cosmic net of reflection, talking about how we are all reflections of one another, and we aren't as individualistic as we think we are, because we're all mirrors for each other. So I think this is like a big ego realization, or a realization about yourself and some things that have shown up in your life. And the next step would be the Six of Wands, which I do like, because this is what your next expansion looks like. And with the sun, I was thinking about victory as well, and I didn't quite say it, but I think I was picking up on this card, the Six of Wands, because that is what it is. It's victory. It's being able to soak up all the accomplishments and the praise that you receive for doing so. And I recently told someone, because this card came out, and I told them it's great to accept the praise from the external things, and yes, take on those compliments, but don't let that be the only thing to validate you. Validate yourself first and foremost, and let yourself accept what other people tell you. People's praise and affirmation should be a confirmation for what you already know deep inside. They shouldn't change your own outlook because you might rely on their good words to be your praise, and that's not what you want either. So it looks like trusting yourself. The traditional imagery is the person on a horse. So it's like, get on your high horse and accept the love that's being passed down to you and the accomplishments, but also go within yourself. So I do see a lot of inner work here with someone, with this collective, and being able to show up for themselves first and foremost, releasing their chains. And I do love the imagery here. We've got a bunch of yellow and green, and then we have the black with the devil, and it's just being able to go through that darkness in order to grow, because plants grow from the soil, the deep darkness, and they had to go through that before they reach the sun and before they can grow tall. So with that, collective, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you being here and letting me read for you. I do have a quick announcement at the end, but with that, I hope you have a fantastic full moon in Sagittarius. Let me know down below what house this is in for you and what it may be illuminating. I'll see you in the next reading. I am popping in here just briefly because I wanted to take a second and let you know what I've been quietly working on behind the scenes, because it's finally here. Enrollment is finally open. Like I have mentioned previously, I'm expanding House of Astralis with a monthly membership community called the Astral Commons, and I want to be clear about what this actually is, because it's not a tarot course and it's not a spiritual content subscription. Each month we work with a tarot archetype as a lens for shadow work and real inner growth. And I know shadow work is a buzzword or maybe overused, but it's self-work. It's getting deep into ourselves and about why we are that we are and growing from it. So instead of just consuming content, you're actually using it as a tool to look at yourself, at the patterns, at the blocks, and the things you keep circling around. The archetype gives you something tangible to hold alongside the deeper work. There is no tarot experience needed. You just need a willingness to show up for yourself.
But the cool thing is that if you are wanting to learn tarot, this embodiment practice and this way of getting deeper with the cards in a self-reflective lens will actually help you with certain meanings, or just being able to have your own meaning for that card when it may come up for you. So you don't have to read from the textbook and have to see what the guidebook says and what the key words are, because you'll have your own experience about this card. There are 3 tiers depending on how you like to work. If you are more of a solo, self-paced person, the entry tier gets you a monthly packet, reflection prompts, and access to the growing resource library. If you want community alongside the work, the middle tier adds a live monthly call and our Discord space. Here we can chat with each other back and forth about how the card is showing up for us that month and how we're experiencing that card, because all of us have our own take on it and it shows up differently for all of us, and I think that's so cool. It's so important for us to realize, oh, this card came up for you that way and it came up for me this way, but they're both valid. Just like the tarot has so many different meanings, it's okay and it all matters, and it's just another thing to add to your bank of situations about how this card may come up. And if you want the full depth, 2 calls, bonus drops, and your own individual card pull in the monthly forecast video while the group is still small, that's the top tier. Prices right now are the lowest they may ever be, because I will be raising them as the community grows. So if this is calling you, now is the perfect time. Again, enrollment opens on April 26th, so by the time you will see this, the link is in the description below. So I look forward to having you there. I look forward to meeting you and doing the inner work with you, because I'm doing it alongside you. I'm doing this every month with myself, with you guys, and this is a great opportunity for me to see myself through the lens of the cards. And with that, that's my little spiel about what I've been working on, and I'm excited to be able to share this with you here and possibly see you in there.